Revelation 18 verses 22 to 24 Lucifer outro mark. Revelation 18 verses 22 to 24. 22 And the sound of harpists, musicians, flute players, and trumpeters will never be heard in you again, and no craftsman of any craft will ever be found in you again, and the sound of a mill will never be heard in you again. 23 And the light of a lamp will never shine in you again, and the voice of the groom and bride will never be heard in you again, for your merchants were the powerful people of the earth, because all the nations were deceived by your witchcraft. 24 And in her was found the blood of prophets and of saints, and of all who have been slaughtered on the earth.
There's an implication in God's holy word that Lucifer was in charge of the music before he was cast out of heaven. Not only that, but Cain's children developed musical instruments. So, if the wicked are good at something, it is at making music. When he took the form of a serpent in the Garden of Eden, he used his cunning words to deceive Eve. I know many ladies who love to sing catchy tunes. Females are not alone, guys love music, and I love good music. Eve most likely used a pleasant song to entice Adam to eat the forbidden fruit.
Genesis 3 verse 1 Now the serpent was more cunning than any beast of the field which the Lord God had made. And he said to the woman, Has God indeed said, You shall not eat of every tree of the garden? 2 And the woman said to the serpent, We may eat the fruit of the trees of the garden. 3 But of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, God has said, You shall not eat it, nor shall you touch it, lest you die. For then the serpent said to the woman, You will not surely die. Genesis 4 verse 16 Then Cain went out from the presence of the Lord and dwelt in the land of Nod on the east of Eden. 17 And Cain knew his wife, and she conceived and bore Enoch. And he built a city and called the name of the city after the name of his son Enoch. 18 To Enoch was born Irad, and Irad begot Mehujael, and Mehujael begot Methusael, and Methusael begot Lamech. 19 Then Lamech took for himself 2 wives, the name of one was Ada, and the name of the second was Zillah. 20 And Ada bore Jabal. He was the father of those who dwell in tents and have livestock. 21 His brother's name was Jubal. He was the father of all those who play the harp and flute. Ezekiel 28 verse 13 You were in Eden, the garden of God, every precious stone was your covering, the sardius, topaz, and diamond, beryl, onyx, and jasper, sapphire, turquoise, and emerald with gold. The workmanship of your timbrels and pipes was prepared for you on the day you were created. 14 You were the anointed cherub who covers. I established you, you were on the holy mountain of God, you walked back and forth in the midst of fiery stones.
Many incredibly talented musicians are atheists. John Lennon and Chris Cornell were a couple. Other famous musicians, such as Liberace, Amy Winehouse, and Kurt Cobain, were not godly and ended with a sad note. The theme of rock and roll was a sexual metaphor or slang, let us be noisy in our perverted sin. On the day of judgment, the Lord will end the noise of sin. The followers of God will not have to hear it anymore, and the Lord will not have to hear it anymore.
Isaiah 14 verse 3 It shall come to pass in the day the Lord gives you rest from your sorrow, and from your fear and the hard bondage in which you were made to serve, for that you will take up this proverb against the king of Babylon, and say, How the oppressor has ceased, the golden city ceased. 5 The Lord has broken the staff of the wicked, the scepter of the rulers. 6 He who struck the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he who ruled the nations in anger, is persecuted and no one hinders. 7 The whole earth is at rest and quiet, they break forth into singing. 8 Indeed the cypress trees rejoice over you, and the cedars of Lebanon, saying, Since you were cut down, no woodsman has come up against us. 9 Hell from beneath is excited about you, to meet you at your coming. It stirs up the dead for you, all the chief ones of the earth, it has raised up from their thrones all the kings of the nations. 10 They all shall speak and say to you, Have you also become as weak as we? Have you become like us? 11 Your pomp is brought down to Sheol, and the sound of your stringed instruments, the maggot is spread under you, and worms cover you. 12 How you are fallen from heaven, O Lucifer, son of the morning! How you are cut down to the ground, you who weaken the nations!